in the relationship with your best friend after 30 years of a marriage, I sympathize. I understand. I understand the pain.
Welcome back, family. Today, we are going to review this modern woman who decided to leave her 30-year-old marriage to go back to the streets just to get pumped and dumped.
30
Let's first
years?
start by watching her admitting that her ex-husband was actually a great dad and a great husband.
As they usually do.
This is a very complicated point. And this is one of the things that I faced that was the hardest for me to make the final decision to leave, is because he's not a bad dad. He's a great dad. My children were blessed with a very good father. And honestly, I had a really good husband. Other than these issues, I understand. But in terms of like sharing parental...
So here's the thing. She's going to start talking about some of the issues she had with him. But keep in mind, these issues, in some way, were so exceptional and minuscule that her general perception of him is that he is good. No human is perfect. But if you can get to the point to where you think of someone and in general you would rate them as a good person, good father, good husband, well, of course, all humans have flaws. But if your general perception of him is good or great, whatever, what's the problem? Now you're just nitpicking.
Sharing responsibilities around the house. Grocery shopping, cooking, like all of that. He was a good provider. So I think that was I definitely struggled with making my final decision to call it over because he was my best friend. I've read my journal on like the day before I got that May 1st letter in 2019. I was happy.
Turn this up.
We called each other multiple times throughout the day. If I ever have a win of any kind, he would be my first call. I lost all of that. I mean, other than the friends that I also lost, I lost my best friend. And I've not replaced that person. I just don't have anybody to call now if I have a win, which is probably part of this TikTok. So I'm sure there's other women out there that have felt the same thing, where you're ending your relationship with your best friend.
Yeah, you're all crazy.
And then you're left with nobody. So I understand the point. He was a good dad. He was a good husband. He just lacked in a very major area. That's fucking complicated for the person who finally has to call it over.
And yet, you still call him a good husband.
So for those women that are in the same situation where you're ending the relationship with your best friend after 30 years of a marriage, I sympathize. I understand. I understand the pain.
What the hell would you end a freaking 30-year-old marriage with a great husband and come to cry on social media for sympathy? If your husband was such a great man, why don't you focus more on the positive side of things and less on the negatives? That is how you can compromise and gradually work on your differences as a couple. This is one of the...
Well, you know, for one thing, compromise. I think compromise is overrated. I think compromise is overrated because so nobody gets their way. So nobody gets what they wanted. That's what compromise really is. Let's meet in the middle here. So hold on. So just nobody gets their way. So both people are unhappy with the outcome. I don't know. But, you know, we often talk about how these women are kind of ruining families and are subjecting both themselves and their husbands to a lower standard of living. This is true, but a lot of times what I don't talk about how is actually a lot of these women probably are doing these men a favor. Because we see how they are on camera. We see that they're crazy enough to create content like this and expose their intimate details about their life. That tells you a lot about them. And I actually think that a lot of times these women are doing these men a favor and getting the hell out of their lives.